2 years ago, we had our first free demo for Builders of Egypt. I showed it on the channel, don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see those videos from 2 years ago. And at the time I was super exciting. It seems that we are getting back to the roots of city buildings, similar a bit to the old impression games like Caesar 3, but with better graphic, with new mechanics. So I was very hopeful. And it seems that I was not the only one, because if you look at the most wishlist game, city builders game on Steam, you can see, of course, we have Manor Lords at the top, but we also have Builders of Egypt at number 5, even above other games like Pharaoh and Euro. That's coming very soon. I have a video on the channel sharing that and some gameplay, don't hesitate to check. All the great recent game we've seen and shown on the channel, like Steam World Build. Also, I played recently on Close Alpha, the Lesara Summit Kingdom. So I think indeed a lot of people were excited for it. Unfortunately, since 2 years ago, not so much has happened. So now let's jump 2 years and we have a new demo. Instead of the first 2 missions, we have 4 missions. I've played them, and in this video today, I want to share with you all my feedback, both negative and positive. I'll start with the negative, but do remember then I'll move to the positive, so stay tuned. And in terms of negative, maybe you'll think I'm gonna be a bit harsh, but for me, this is in the context of the game. Once again, we got the first demo 2 years ago, and they said that the game was ready last year. Last year they said the game was ready, they were going to launch, then there was delayed, more delayed, more delayed, and now we have this demo that says early pre-beta version, serious bugs may occur, not final quality. Which to me doesn't feel like the game is ready. And this is really what we got. This demo, when it was launched on the 23rd of January, a couple of days ago, was terrible. It was full of bugs. Even mission 1 and 2, which we were able to play successfully 2 years ago, you couldn't play anymore. Nobody was able to finish them. To their credit, they did release a patch a couple of days later on the 27th that corrected some of them. In particular, the big bug that was making even mission 1 completely impossible, they did fix. But even with this patch, in my opinion, the game is far from ready. So again, let me share a few of those negative elements. The first one is, even when you've completed the tutorial, if you relaunch the mission, the tutorial restarts from scratch. So for example, now it's asking me to build more roads, and then it's gonna make me build houses where there's already houses. So, you know, this is really not great. So let's just quit this tutorial now. With the patch now, you are able to build this fishing weir, so that's something. But as you can see, there's 10 people there out of 8. Why? I didn't ask to put 10, so for me that's another bug. And then this first mission, while now you can finish sort of the tutorial part of it, you still can't win it. Because to win it, you need to export bricks, but the export is not working. You can create, you know, an export route over here, you know, clicking on Tunis, can create. And by the way, this is one of my other feedback. The UI is all over the place. Like, this is terrible that this goes behind and not on the side or whatever. So anyway, we create the route, and then we need to go into the economy tab, which by the way also is one of the problem. I mean, if I'm creating a trade route, I should be sent directly to the economy tab, right? Now I can click on export and nothing is ever gonna happen. I can guarantee you I had a city with tons of bricks, export selected, nothing happened. And on Discord, you can see many other people saying the same. So you'll never be able to export and therefore make money. And because in this mission, it's impossible to also gather taxes from your people, then you can't make money and therefore you're going to be negative super quickly and then lose. When you construct a new houses, you can see 0 out of 5. But as soon as you upgrade the house, for example, this is a house level 1 now, you know, you can see 7 out of, you don't know. This is not working, so another UI bugs. I've also had multiple situations, especially in mission 2, not in this mission 1, where I was building and then the building wasn't coming. So I was losing money, but nothing was appearing. Also I had many situations where my destroy button wasn't working, but I think they've solved that a bit in this patch. It seems to be working better. Oh no, look, here it didn't work. I'm clicking on it, nothing is being deleted. So this is still there, at least for some buildings, not for all. Then I've had many problems with stockpiles where you can only say if you gather or not, and then if you'll be able to export or if you'll collect, you know, in this warehouse. You can't say go gather from another stockpile or those type of things. Therefore, super basic. And again, I know this is a demo, but my negative feedback is coming from the fact that they were saying the game is ready, is gonna launch in 1 month, 6 months ago. But the balancing is all wrong in my opinion. It takes like so long for your people to join into your houses and therefore to start working. Then it takes super long for your well to start working and give water to your population and therefore to upgrade those houses to make more space. And by that time, basically you're already in negative because you're paying so much wages and you have no way to make money. And similarly in the other missions, I've had situation where I have my neighbors requesting me resources even before people arrive into my city because they take so long to arrive. So again, I think in terms of balancing, speeds, some of those things, it's wrong. Another one, I was at minus 9,000, saved the game, reloaded it, and now I'm at plus 9,000. And as you can see again, the bug of it restarts also the whole tutorial, even if my city is already built. So asking me to build roads where there's already roads. Also linked to the fact that, in those first few missions, you don't have access to everything. And that's normal, right? In all games, in the first few mission tutorial, you don't have access to everything. But for example, here I have access to the fire station, but I don't have access to the building, to avoid collapses. And therefore, if you play the game for a few minutes, you're gonna have one of your building collapse or several of your building collapse, and then you can't do anything about them. You can't rebuild them, can't delete them, or at least I couldn't on my game, it was bugged. But now let's move to some positive. We move from 2 missions to 4 missions that are playable or available to play, let's say. And there's also 39 missions that are visible over here, right? So given that they said that the game was ready to be released soon, we could expect that maybe they've prepared already all of those missions in terms of what are the goals, in terms of what are, the buildings, maybe the mechanics, all those type of things in the background, maybe are prepared for all of those missions. And to show some of the other positives, let's move into the 4th mission, the first mission where we'll be able to build a building, a mastaba, right? Like a small pyramid, if you wish. Okay, so first of all, the game still looks very good, right? If you go very close, you can see quite some nice detail on the trees, on the vegetation. There's some animals running around. So it does still look very good. It is pretty much the same graphic as far as I can say, to 2 years ago. But that was a plus sign already 2 years ago, and it still is. In this 4th mission, we also start to see that we have access to a lot more buildings, right? For example, now we can prevent with our architect's post from collapsing. We have the fire station, the police station. In terms of food, we also have a few new ones, right? Not just the wheat farm. We have the wheat farm, the cabbage farm, the chicken peas, and the cattle ranch. They have started to flesh out also the technology tree, right? We have 4 branches over here, including over here we can see the military one, right? Something we haven't really been able to play with. On top of being beautiful, the maps are also quite big, right? You may have seen that in previous mission, but in this one for sure, if I'm taking a look around, there are all this space. And because this game also has localized, production. So if I look over here, for example, at my stone, I can only build it over here. Right, and therefore I also need a small city because these people that are working over there, they can only work in this radius, right, which is way further than this radius there. It does create a problem, which is that over here I can see my available workers, but I don't know where they are. Are they available on this side? Are they available on that side? That doesn't work really well for me. Now I've built a bit the city, as you can see. I wanted to show you a couple of other things. Once again, for example, you can see that the export is not working. I have some reserve of timber. I have created over here, a route with this one that is wanting to buy timber, even if it's hard to show you because of this UI. That's crazy. And over here in the economy tab, I have selected export, but nothing is happening. And it's been going for some time, which is why you can see I'm now in crazy negative, which is also linked again to the balancing, which for me is really wrong. Another small thing is, for my houses over here, it's saying I need something to evolve them. I don't know what this something is because I clearly don't have that. And some of these houses are actually getting upgraded, like this one is level 2, this one is even level 3. So no idea what this is. We have been able, in this scenario to start building a few more buildings. And in particular, I wanted to finish by creating this mastada, but it takes 32,000, sort of money. And we are at minus 11,000 because we can't export. So I can't show it to you, sorry. And I think that's basically the overall sentiment with this demo. I am glad that they're continuing to work on the game, that they've started to expand, on the first 2 missions that we had 2 years ago, but this is not playable. This is really not playable in this stage. I wish they would have just continue working on it before showing it to us, because now I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed and maybe also sort of disconnect from this game going forward, while there was a lot of potential. So I really hope that they're going to turn that around, and that the next time I show a video on Builders of Egypt on the channel, this will be a positive one. Thank you for watching. Don't hesitate also to share your thoughts in the comments below, and I hope to see you next time.